Alright. Hey, what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
I'm good, man. What's up?
Beautiful. We got
Cool.
another
You?
episode of the Collect Podcast this week.
The
Um,
collective.
yes, sir. Consecutive weeks. We were here last week too. Let's try to keep that streak going. But yeah, man, the Internet's Trippiest Podcast is back. You got me, G. Elijah. Go ahead, everybody, introduce yourselves.
It's your boy AD, man. I'm back with the collective, man. Ready to get into some trippy topics today.
Pieces here to, do what we do, keep it 100, and see if we can get deep with the conversation on the late night.
Peace, I'm Denise, the beautifully ascended beast. I'm just here for the vibes. I love the conversation. I love it when the spidey senses is tingling.
Dope, beautiful thing to hear. All I'm gonna say is stay away from backwoods. It's good for your health. But yeah, man, we got here another week. We got a couple topics to speak on. I just want to say appreciate everybody for tuning in for sure. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Um, First topic called "Love Where You At," man. I'm gonna go and let AD kind of take it off from there.
So, love, where you at, man? We got this topic in because in the pre-game we had talked about just really feeling the energy of where you at and just understanding where you belong because you're there for a reason, man. Everything around you is there to help you. So, I just been going to the mounds lately, especially around with Angie this time. And like me being at the mounds, I'm just like damn, I come here to meditate, but like I need to connect more. I don't know nothing about the mounds. I don't understand them. You know what I'm saying? Just understanding my area, the history of it. So when I'm ready to leave this place, I know where I want to go. You know what I'm saying? Not just leaving for a material benefit, but like for a true connection with for where I'm from in the earth. So that's just how I've been feeling. And I feel like we take it for granted for where we from. We just be like, we just have our experiences here and we just say fuck this place and just move on. But I feel like we have trials and tribulations for a reason. So we should learn from them and love them. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I know. For me, I you know, I like DC's home. That's like where I grew up, spent most of my time. And like I grew up kind of. I remember growing up and like being out. Like my mother was somebody, she would always take me to different parks and like just different areas and things like that. But like as I grew older, like I was somebody who was more. I constricted myself in a sense, and I know there's a lot of people, like especially like in cities, that like do that. They constrict themselves. Like they're comfortable being around like a certain way and like kind of living custom like life that they built for themselves, and like they don't really like to branch off like that. For me, like about 2 3 years ago, when I was still like working my last job, I don't know. I just kind of like made like I just had a shift like in energy, just like it's how I was like looking to kind of live my life. Um, and I was a hard worker. I was always going to be a hard worker, and I had all this time that I like never took off. Um, and like I just kind of look like I'm gonna start like kind of living for me in a sense, and like really looking to do the things that I want to do. I started taking a lot of time off work, and one thing like that, I took that time off work to do what I wanted to do, and it was funny because like at that time, my manager told me like keep taking all the time that you want because you're coming back like with a different energy, like you're doing you're like when you come back like you're on your stuff. But I was literally like just when I was taking that time off, I would like go to random parks. I would I would literally just like just get on my feet or just hop on a bike and just go somewhere, like just travel around, like kind of aimlessly, like as like some wanderlust type stuff. But
Yeah.
I would like like just wander around, like pull out my phone, look at the maps, and find different monuments that I hadn't, things that weren't so popular in the city, like going to those places, going to smaller parks, um, just really traveling and really like just finding things. I found a new appreciation for and love for where for my city. Um, I met a bunch of cool and interesting people like who were like a part of different things that I just wasn't aware about. I like I learned I learned I learned how to be happy. Um, like doing my own thing at any time, like never needing anybody, never wanting anything from anybody, but literally like just like, yo, like, all right, it's a new day. Like, what do I want to like? I can do anything I want. Like, go do that. You know,
Show
and like,
game.
Yeah, when when I didn't know nothing about mounds or nothing, but it just naturally intrigued me. Traveling, I done been to like countless mounds, and it's like we don't know much about the mounds, but this country was covered with mounds at a particular time, and these mounds held different reasons for existing. And part of the journey was doing it naturally, which was cool. But another part is going to mounds on some trippy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta have a fourth dimensional perception when you dealing with these particular things, or else it's just a hill of dirt.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like all of the mounds was tore down. You know, I've been in places in Ohio where the city hall is built with the fragments of the mound because even though it looked like dirt, in the inside is a lot of fine metals and stones and all types of stuff. And the mounds is built on ley lines. So say for instance you want to bring something into your life with enough psychedelics, not a lot, but just enough to get you into a different frame of mind, go to a mound or a city hall. Cause I had Ross Ben on the channel and we had a build on how like the city halls and the structures, they used to be mounds, but now they like courthouses and shit. You feel me? So they hold particular energy, but you can go down there and do a ritual, right? What's so crazy about it is that the white people doing it right in front of you. Like they siphoning the energy, building their courthouses and everything like that. But the ill part is that you can actually do that shit with the mounds because everything is all about energy. So it's like you young and you dealing with it, but you in the right place. Just gotta open up your mind a little more. Because once you open your mind to see for yourself, then everything start to make sense. I just want to say that because I was like
yeah,
that too. Like going to the mounds, like, what the fuck is this? What is it
I
for?
didn't even know what a mound was until I started watching your videos. Hood. I didn't know.
Right. I
I'm
didn't either.
from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Like I go to the lake, I go to the Dan Ryan Woods. I go to those places to do my rituals, to pray, to connect. But just realizing that when you started talking about psychic Chicago and the energy of John Point Baptiste du Sable, oh my goodness! Just realizing that my entire city is a spell, like in itself. And the things that
Mhm.
I hold dear and the things that I've connected to and the ways in which I connected to them, because I connected to them as a child with the parks and things like that. But as an adult, I would frequent the lake to unwind. And as I matured, I frequented to the lake to release and let go of things that I was holding on to by writing my stuff out. You know what I'm saying? Just getting it all out. And the love and where you at part that I want to connect to this is had it not been for me taking the time to appreciate the experiences that I have and realize the privilege in those experiences, that's what makes me value the experiences and the time and the knowledge more so than the salaries that's attached to some of these jobs and things that, people hold. Like, it's one thing to love yourself when you making X amount of money an hour. It's a whole nother thing to love yourself after you realize what the things that you've gone through and how you've connected to nature and how you didn't connect to nature then and you felt accomplished or what you thought was accomplishment. But when you see how you connect to nature and the greater microcosm of things, that's it just changes your whole reality. And I wonder how, as a group, how we are attaching to that energy and entity of like these courthouses that the mounds are built on, um how we're attacking those energies, like how we're changing them as a people, as melanated people, just by that awareness and that conscious active thought process and actions behind it all, like our collective magic.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely something to say about like us being more tapped in as a group, um, for sure. But I mean, first it starts with you, like kind of how I started off, like just talking about like just getting out there, and then Hood like mentioning like being more just in a sense like just more direct like with what it is that you're looking to do and get out of things. It starts with you getting out there, but like yeah, like we're all as you're saying, like we're all like melanated people like in these cities, like, and like you mentioned kind of you being from Chicago, and like there's a spell on this entire country, like we're all dealing with this in one sense or another. um for sure, like you being in Chicago, me being in so-called in the so-called nation's capital, and like we all know, like there's a history behind where we're from before, like what we're taught. Like there were people here. There's so much more going on than what we're being told. Um, so yeah, man, like be proactive and going out to certain areas. Like me being in DC, we got the Washington Monument, the Capitol. Like those are places like I found myself. When I say like I first just started like going out to different places and finding mountains in the city myself, and then like being intentional, like looking to go like have like a practice or something that I wanted to do. Going to the Capitol building, going to the where where did they print the cash at? Um, uh, Whatever. It doesn't matter. But like there's like there are these
Federal
buildings, these
Reserve.
so yeah, the Federal Reserve, like to conduct my own rituals, and it's like I'm like me. I have no problem doing this, but it's like damn, I wish, and I'm happy to keep doing things how I do things, but I wish I could find other people who were like interested, like who could really understand these things. Um, to who would like had their own interest in like being a part of these things, like you mentioned, Denise, like the power of action of of melanated people coming together with intent, and conducting rituals on these lands. Like it's
It's
something that
amazing.
it's something that I do. But yeah, man, like I wish I could see the power of us coming together to do these things for sure.
It's speaking of power, real quick. Um, my best friend Nicole, who I did the Blunt Talk podcast with, she's been my best friend since kindergarten. Okay, we were walking through DePaul's campus, right? Mind you, DePaul is built on top of an old cemetery. I found that out during Explore Chicago. They make every student take an Explore or Discover Chicago class when you first enroll at DePaul. So we're walking through the student center and we both say at the same time, mind you, we're coming from two different classes. I got the power and sang it. Just the power of the energy of the land, the energy that we cultivated since we were children, like the synchronicities, like it was just, I don't know. When you say you wish you meet people like that, like just understanding that moments like that, it seems small, but it's very impactful as a whole when you think about like those energies and how you're connecting with the people around you and with the environment that you're in.
Yeah, and let me be careful not saying and not and saying like I do see that because like we have like a park called it's called Meridian Hill slash Malcolm X Park, which is like built on a mound. And then it's like a place where, especially like when the weather's nice, like we go to a lot. They always like do a drum circle and the Hoods Point, like we be trippy up there. Like we make sure we go there, and like it's a place where a lot of people come out to vend and sell stuff, and it's like people on that high frequency, just like showing love and supporting each other. So it's like those things do exist, for sure, and yeah, it's just like taking those and like branching them out, like being more, yeah, just being more intentional and like in everywhere we go, like and understanding to
That's what
to
I was
80,
saying.
it's stuff going on around everywhere.
That's all I was gonna say. It was like be intentional, because if you feel like, well, I need, when I was young or like into my spiritual journey, I would be like, man, I need this. I need more people to be on this wave and all this type of shit. But what I came to realize, like if I had it to do it again, I would have just been more intentional about what the fuck I was doing. Because when you in the moment and you like, this is where I'm supposed to be at, and if I'm not, if nobody is here with me, then fuck it, like get trippier. You know what I'm saying? Like get so trippy to the point that being alone don't matter, type shit. Because this is the trippiest podcast on the net. So it's like you got to really break those ego barriers, and that's why it's important to go to like the city hall and do some shit. Don't matter what you do. Go to the mounds and do some shit. Like, bro, I used to go to the mounds when I was broke. Like, I need some money. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I didn't necessarily know, like, my first videos that I ever did with like me putting the phone in front of my face, what gave me that courage was the mound. Something just in my fucking, like, go live. And so I'd be driving the truck and I'd be thinking about videos. Like I'd be like, I'm gonna do an astrology report from the mounds. Cause I felt like the mounds was connected to the stars some way, right? The more that I studied it, they'll be like the mounds is in line with the summer solstice and the winter solstice and like all of this. I knew that intuitively. That's why I say when I was younger, I thought I was a fucking Looney Tunes talking about this shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have the confidence, right? And that was my fault. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because thinking that it was something better. Shit, if I knew what I knew then now, I would have been talking big shit at the mounds. Like, nigga, I'm at the mounds talking about astrology, nigga. Tap the fuck in. I didn't think of it that way because I just didn't necessarily know that every movement that you make in life is right, right? You're never
Hell
wrong.
yeah.
You're never wrong. But what's wrong is when you condemn yourself. Man, I wish there was more people here. Damn, I'm here, but it ain't making sense. Damn, it's like, no, you gotta start to be like, damn, this shit, I'm in alignment like a bitch right now. Like just to go to Cahokia, nigga, is something that I wish I could go there right now. Like for real. Like that's a place where you could still go and go to Atlantis. Like when I was there, I seen people, not actual people, but like fourth dimensional people. I was like clapping hands and shit. Me and my son, we was walking, just giving niggas high fives. I'm like, you giving niggas high fives too? He's like, yep. Like we both, like me and my older son, shit is crazy. Like
That's funny. Me and my daughter, we go to the cemetery together. Like we were both born on Wednesday, and
And
she
both,
always
man,
talks about Wednesday Adams. So both of us Wednesdays love to go to the cemetery to connect with our people when we need to connect.
both you, AD, and Denise are in Illinois. Like I'm in DC. Like I'm in Northern Virginia at the very moment. But like even I like have heard about like the mountains and out in Illinois. Like it's like I have to make it like to that spot, and like with intention, like go there. I, with like loved ones, like that's something that I want to do. It's like Illinois, like known for that. I don't know too many other places like that that like
I
have
really
that.
need to get up on it. Like I really
Yeah,
need to get up out this city stuff.
yeah. It's I ain't gonna lie. It's a lot of places to explore at the miles, man. Like I only been to like maybe a quarter of them up, bro. I ain't like it's so many spots. Like I ain't found like many little ponds, many little lakes. Big giant mountains where I had meditated on and just like felt energy go up to my legs, to my root chakra, just trying to charge myself. So it's a powerful thing, man. And like y'all says, being intention is like, going there, saying a prayer, saying a chant to get your mind raised up and for you to feel it. Sometimes I'll just make sure I'm silent, don't say a thing and don't think a thought and just observe. You know what I'm saying? So it's beautiful, man. I can't count to you.
Yeah, man. Do your due diligence, like do your own homework and understand your city, like everything. Yeah, Wikipedia has some things, and here history books has some things, but like they're first of all they're things that only people know. Like you have to tap into to your grandmothers, your great grandmothers, your aunties, like that generation to really understand certain things about where you come from. And at the same, like, and there are places that you other places you can learn from, but there's nothing like getting out there, raising your vibration, however you do that, and experiencing things for yourself, with that place of gratitude and love for sure. You gonna learn some things about the area, about where you're from, and about yourself. Yes, sir.
Because for
All
real,
right.
like
Any
I'm gonna just say one more thing. If you really think about it, you go to school your whole life, you never told that what make your city special. But if you live in a city, a town, or any type area, then it's something special that ancestors migrated into that place that called that place before it was St. Louis, before it was Chicago, before it was Washington, D.C. These were um, geomantic um, ley lines of energy. And the only illusion is the white people games that they play, right? They do a whole bunch of shit to make you think that you don't have access to the power. But the reality is that you do. They call it City Hall. They call it a mound. They call it a park. They call it these things. But the reality is that these are vortexes. So as much as I'm saying that to y'all, I know it kind of like it might sound crazy, but the more that you take it seriously, and the more you take where you at seriously, your spirit got you in that place for a particular reason. So
It
the more
makes
you figure out
sense.
your reason
You
why you in that place, the more that you will find gnosis and purpose and where you at. Because most niggas be like, I hate it here, right? Ask nigga, any nigga where you at, hey, you know what I'm saying? Be like, nigga, I hate Detroit. I want to leave. But it's like, and go where? And do what? So it's like, what is the spiritual reason why you where you at? And if you can figure that out, you would be light years ahead of anybody. I just want to put that out there.
Ashe.
you got my mind like thinking in overdrive right now because speaking of rituals, and it's not even just buildings. Um, the Black Circus, Universal Circus, is in Chicago right now. Well, it was in Chicago, and they always have it in Washington Park in the same spot. It's not too far from Dusable High School, and it's also a statue of Dusable not too far from there. So it's like everything is a ritual. Everything. And they like the best circus. Like I'm not big on circuses, but if I gotta go to a circus, it will be the black circus because they be juky.
No, I mean, yeah, if I'm going to circus, I'm going to Universal Circus and just letting everybody know that. But yeah, besides, I don't even know why I said that. Universal Circus used to be lit. Me and my sister used to go there. All right, next topic there, we are about to talk about how is astrology, man, because I feel as though I'm gonna speak on this. Um, People be thinking like I'm spiritual and stuff, and they like to talk to me about spirituality, and it's like I don't know. I don't think I'm as spiritual as people be thinking. Like I don't like to talk about it with people so much because people. I just feel as though so many people utilize this for their own ego purposes, and I can't even be mad at them. It's like it's kind of what comes with it. It's what comes with anything in a sense. But the majority of people I be around who like tend to claim to have spiritual knowledge, he like to utilize astrology for sure. But oftentimes they like to speak on it from a sense of, first of all, that everybody's speaking it from a Western sense. Um, and teach his own if you believe in astrology, like good for you. And if you want to speak on it, I'll just say that you know there is a way that we're often taught to learn things, and then you can choose to believe that. But I'll say that oftentimes the way that you're taught to learn something isn't necessarily the best way for you per se. Oftentimes when we're taught to learn something, it has to do with agenda or something that is larger than us. So a lot of people I know are literally utilizing astrology in a way that is oftentimes more confusing and oftentimes isn't. You know, people like to say that we're in astrology or we're in spirituality and that's better than religions, but the way people use it and the way people often speak on this topic of astrology, just the way that they talk about it, I see more spiritual people being like more damaging in a sense than anybody, just in how they speak about it and how egoic they are about the subject, more so than utilizing this universal knowledge to actually um, truly better understand themselves and how they can be a betterment first to themselves, but more so to the collective, to everyone else involved. Um, and yeah, I mean, anybody else has anything to say there? But if I can I want to figure out how to share my screen, just in the sense of letting like showcasing how I utilize astrology to first understand like where I'm at mentally. Me being a human being and understanding that that has a lot of limits. That creates a lot of spaces that that I can't see. There's a lot of understanding that I need to do for myself, just to just to be of use for self, in order to do the things I need to do um, to support the collective as a whole. I like to understand, like, and I feel as though that is why astrology is important to me, is to better understand, where I'm at in the sense of that moment or during a certain period of time, in order to, be able to make sure, like, I'm being sharp. I am doing what I need to do in order to be, the best person for the collective as a whole. What about y'all?
For me, man, like I didn't like use astrology to help free myself from a lot of let's say conditional learning about things. Like going through astrology helped me understand religion better and just a lot of mythical stories, to understand them of as so above as so below, understanding how I work and understand how the cosmos work. And it's something that it takes patience because you it's something you study every day. It's just not something that you just like come back to and leave alone. As you watching the phases, you see how certain things work, just as in by following your sun and moon. And I feel like that's the most simplest way I do it. I do study the other planets, but when I just take it one at a time and try to understand my sun and where the house is in at the moment, and then studying that house, I get a lot of understanding from it. But it's about working with yourself and just journaling because the moments in your life that you are having, astrology shows that in multiple ways. Like last month, Mars is was in the house of Taurus. It's about to go in Gemini soon. It's like on the cusp of it. That month, man, I was able to make a lot of gains in money and just fitness by just using the planet Mars and understanding its power. So it's like it's mind blowing, but it takes a deep connection to understand it for yourself. I say.
Yeah, it does. I think like to Jeff's point where he's talking about like spiritual people doing damage is like very important because people want to be deep and they want to like say the things that deep people is talking about, but it's like that's cool. People gonna do what they gonna do, but you gotta think like if you hold a plant in darkness, it won't grow, right? A plant won't grow in darkness, for lack of a better words, right? That flower just not going to be the same flower. That flower need the sun to bloom, right? We need the sun to be our best selves. We need the moon to be our best selves. The moon helps the flower bloom. The night sky is part of the process as well. So it's like these two major influences and how they transgress into the sky. People say it's January, February, March, April, May. Like, yeah, that's called a month, meaning that moon month, right? Like the study of the tracking of the moon. We are those people. Like we are those star seeds. So it's like if we don't actually study this stuff and understand the influences, then we're not going to bloom. And what you see is people, we living in a mirror universe. People confused, right? Rappers is dying, but they've been talking about killing each other for the past 5 years straight. Nothing but killing each other. Every song is a op that they gonna smoke. Now they getting smoked, and now people like this is so fucked up. But y'all was literally conjuring them to get killed on the Day of the Dead using sun energy and solar energy and lunar energy at the club, dancing in ritual formation. Now the manifestation based on the verbal words creating the material reality. So we are those people. We are those things. We are those things. So for me, it's just more of like talent, creativity, and just not being overwhelmed by it all, and just kind of focusing on because like you can have a lot in life, and you can fuck it up a lot of times. So now I realize like, damn, you done had a lot and you done fucked up a lot. So now I'm just trying to not fuck it up. So it's really getting me to a point of just slowing down, studying my chart, getting these charts done a week in advance so I can just kind of sit and observe it. Because if you think about it, you could have used the solar eclipse to manifest times 10. But as I said in the article, you can use it positive or you can use it negative. So it's like, or you cannot use it at all. And it's like back to the original point where we were just talking about being intentional when it comes to this magic shit. Because otherwise, you're going to be cursing yourself. And I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? For nobody. So might as well big yourself up and affirm your greatness. Because that's all, like, you got to do that. Because that's how the universe works. Because you can see what's happening with these rappers. They thought they was just going to get paid for speaking death. Now they like, man, I ain't no rapper no more. All right, we got to do different songs. Next year, this time, niggas is going. The next single going to be "Kumbaya" from Lil Baby. Kumbaya, my lord, Kumbaya, yes, Lord, Kumbaya. I'm telling you, next year, mark
Do
my word.
you? Yeah, bro. I don't know.
Whatever they need to make it change. Man,
Nah, I mean, yeah, like I hear that, but at the same time, like these people aren't who they saying they are, and it's like I don't mean to say like it's funny or nothing, but I see it outside on a consistent basis. I see people claim something, and then like something happens. It's like, whoa, wait, like life is real. Like people really don't understand what they be claiming or signing up for or whatever, man. And
that comes from not knowing they self. Because if they knew their true power, they would speak something different.
yeah, 110%. But yeah, man, I also wanted to use this for like kind of showcasing like what it is that like we utilize because I know like a big point up here is like I think the majority of people up here follow Siddhara astrology. Number one.
I use them both. I use them both, and I only say both because I need to have things as metaphysical as sciencey as possible because if not, emotions tend, because I feel energy emotion so much, it can be consuming. So I use them both interchangeably because I feel like one is masculine and one is feminine, and I'm both. Even though the majority of my chart is masculine, this has been me coming into my sidereal, coming into my feminine, and that's hard when you was born divine masculine and you a woman. But at the same time, had I not, I feel like the succubus energy that are connected to the collective environment of where I'm from, I would have succumbed to it. So it's all about balance for me. And I look at
Yeah, no,
astrology as like a conveyor belt for me. Like I
it's
use the planets to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, you're fine. And I mean, to your point, like it definitely is all about balance. But I mean, the point I wanted to make just with saying that is like just showcasing like what it is that I'm about to utilize. So I don't know like how people normally keep track of where the sun and the moon is. That's a lie. I do know how most people keep track of where the sun and the moon is, and that's through like what other people say. Most people normally just utilize kind of what's being told to them through Western astrology, like versus actually looking at where things are placed. And so like for me, like literally, there's a number of different tools you can utilize. I have like a app on my phone called Skyview, and I guess like you open it up, you can literally just like look at where different planets are placed, just based on the different astrological signs. So if you if you look up, you can't really see it from here. But if I were to look at where the sun is placed, it showcases that it's like at the end of Virgo, looking to head into Libra. Um, and so, I mean, like, there's different tools you can kind of utilize to showcase, whether you're following Western or Sidereal, like there are, things that you can utilize to actually look at where the sun is placed, so that you can have an honest view of what is truly going on. So, I mean, for me, I I'm doing all this just to kind of showcase different tools that they utilize. Hold on. but I know that un momento. So first off here, like I utilize a site called AstroSeek. Number one, this kind of is an example of what you'll find there. This showcases my natal charts per se, and if you go on, you can my photo. I'm trying to showcase how to find just the current planets and things like that. But you can utilize certain sites to find where different planets are placed and things like that. From there, I utilize an astro tarot chart. And from here, if you look at a natal chart or a transit chart, things like that, you'll see that you know the different planets are placed within within different houses, and within different houses, if you were to look at an actual chart, you'll see that. One second. I'm sorry, y'all. This shit is complicated. But basically, if you can utilize astrology first of all to determine where different planets are placed, and from there utilizing things like an astrology tarot chart, you can find out the connections between different planets versus different tarot cards. If you do your research on those specific cards, you can actually do a better understanding of what those planet placements means, first in your own natal chart, but also just in kind of daily life as well. And from there, be able to truly understand kind of how these planet placements are affecting your daily mind, what you're going through, your subconscious and things like that. Um, yeah, and I think like that's just something to showcase, like rather than looking at astrology as I am this, people are that, and so based on those things, like that is kind of how life works. It's like I don't know. I like to more so than always thinking about astrology from my point of view, just looking at literally where the sun, where the moon, where certain important planets are, on a daily basis, understanding the, like I said, I like to utilize tarot for astrology because I think that that helps us. It's like a abstract or a creative way to understand the different placements of these planets and how they affect our daily lives. Um, for me, like that's just the best way to utilize astrology in my day to day.
I agree with that. Like I like my tool. One of my favorite tools is Astrofuture, and I love it because it shows like a little pie chart, and you can switch between sidereal and tradition, whatever is it Western? I don't know what to call it, Western or tropical, whichever one people like to call it. Um, and it shows like a pie chart of the different elements, and it also shows a pie chart of like the masculine and feminine energies, and it also shows a different pie chart of the fixed energy. What's it? Fixed, cardinal, and what's the third one? I can't think. Sorry.
Immutable.
Mutable, yeah. It shows you a mixture of all of it because I feel like on top of having duality, like it's the fine tuning that helps me understand and separate the energies around me from my energy. And that's what helps me navigate, knowing when to hold them and knowing when to fold them, so to speak, and knowing when to sit, knowing when to act, know when to listen, know when to speak, know just knowing that all of my steps are ordered in the part that I can play in it, and to ensure that I'm in alignment with the duality of myself and the as above and the so below. I try to connect with my gut brain connection as much as possible so that I can run on autopilot. Because the more if I work on autopilot with intent, then everything else, whether it's perceived as good or bad, I can accept as alignment and just simply as how it's supposed to be in the cosmos as is. Like I'm satisfied with the trajectory as long as I know that I'm in alignment, so to speak. So just using all of my tools as a collective inner compass in conjunction with my inner compass to navigate life, controlling what I can, which is me, and maneuvering through what I can't, which is everything else.
My fault. So I feel that dope. Yeah, and that's something I think I'm gonna work on. Like yeah, I had struggles trying to kind of really showcase like just presenting how it is I like to utilize astrology like in my day to day. I think that's something I'm gonna work on. Like kind of building like a little video or something just around how I work on that.
Yeah, nah, I've been using my astrology and tarot cards. Find me a little pop. I got to. I'm honest,
No
I
man,
swear it's so helpful when you co-creating with the universe because it helps you keep track of the things that you're trying to what that you're co-creating because time isn't what's real, only divine timing. So if I understand that I set some intentions during a certain season, during a certain time, then I expect to harvest during a certain time. You see what I'm saying? Like I know what to expect and when to expect it. It's my way of controlling my reality a little bit.
I feel you, gang.
yeah. I say for me it's more about not necessarily trying to control anything, but just understanding where I'm at, like being able to ride the waves. I feel like it helps you kind of prepare for certain things. Yeah, and just know what's coming for real.
Yeah, like when like I've been tracking the moon, and the moon like on the cusp of Capricorn into Aquarius. So like with those feelings, I've been feeling like want to be a part of something because Aquarius is in that 11th house, network and connections. So I've been having that feeling of like wanting someone there with me, but it's like Hood saying it, like breaking through that ego and understanding that because I felt like that was illusion. You know how I felt that, and I knew it was coming up in my chart, so I knew how to feel it. You know, because usually when I feel like I'm alone, I know I'm bullshit because I know spirit with me. So usually I never feel alone. It always dawn in the back of my head. Like it's like spirit always like nigga, I'm right here, bro. You bogus as hell. Like you alone. Alright, for sure. Like that always hit me in my head. So yeah, let me wake up to that.
Yeah, but it's real, and it's yeah, man. It will definitely help you in aligning, like just being able to understanding like why you may be having certain thoughts that like may not feel, home like certain things may feel intrusive and things like that. Just like why you may be feeling certain ways. Just like if you keep track of astrology, especially things with like keeping track of the moon cycle, it definitely will help you kind of just stay in alignment, um, and be able to follow your path, just that much more smoothly. All right, so let's get into this next topic. Um, If y'all have been following our guy Head, he's been dropping a few videos on all the topics of glamour and illusion, and Maya as well. Things, if you know you're familiar with like the just kind of the spiritual community, like the concepts that have been mentioned before, um, but you know how in depth and things like that. And I know that with everything going on, especially people always kind of bringing up what's going on the news and the things of popular topics. Not saying that they aren't significant for sure, but there is definitely a lot of noise and things that are meant to certainly confuse us. And if you ask me, I feel as though a lot of that, initial confusion is why you see so much crazy things like kind of going on right now. For sure, it's like people are looking to fulfill certain expectations that are just like almost unattainable, or looking to kind of follow certain paths that 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 people don't really understand that they're being pushed towards, due to wanting to be looked at, in a certain way, or because they're being shown, examples that may not necessarily be the best examples, for the soul to follow. But kind of just with everything going on, just wanted to touch upon, the topic of, glamour illusion, and us, being more, being spiritually focused, the importance of us, looking looking, to more so satisfy, our spiritual selves rather than, everything that's going on within, within this world that we see. Um, yeah, man, it's been a lot going on. A lot of this, a lot of smoke and mirrors lately. Have y'all been seeing that?
Yeah, I've been seeing that a lot, man. And you ever heard of predictive programming? Like I've been seeing shit like that, and just seeing all the commotion to get people's emotions stirred up.
I think for the most part lately, I've been doing my best to disconnect. And it's only because, like you said, everything is just so loud. And if everything else is loud, I can't hear what I need to hear. So honestly, a lot of the things that I found out from listening to, catching up on y'all podcast, or I'm sorry, catching up on y'all show, and catching up on different things on YouTube. That's the only way I really get a lot of my news these days, because I don't want to be able to tell the real. I want to know what I know before it even hit me. So I think that's where I'm at with my spirituality, and with even I'm over everything that's an illusion. Like I'm over all of that. That's the part that I'm at in my spiritual journey. That is the part where all those things piss me off.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about it though. It's like when you feel that way, it's kind of a lonely place because nobody else is really interested in seeing past the illusion, and the illusion is real to them. And it's really like, the soul work or the spiritual work, it brings about the realization of illusion. So it's like, damn, do I continue to live a false life or do I live a real, authentic life? And when you choose to do that, things tend to work out for you. But it's usually like people in your life that are in the glamour, in the illusion, in the Maya. And it's like, damn, it's like being in a cave with a person for real, or being in a dark room where all it is like gun toting, and like it's like predictive programming and then social engineering. Instead of getting hair done, girls is like going to buy hair, and it's like when you do that, you like they say like everybody can look this like everybody got the same hairstyle for the lack of a better point now because it ain't even like the natural texture, nothing like that. We are completely disconnected people at whole. The man is not connected to no form of spirit, no form of understanding. So it's like which person got it worse at this point? Like, do men have it worse or do women have it worse? And it's like now the only thing that you can really do is the spiritual work, but the key is you gotta kind of be comfortable with doing this shit alone, or else it is like I want somebody to do the shit with me is a form of like glamour. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a form of Maya. Cause then you get somebody with you and ain't to say they gonna have the same mind as you. And 10 times out of 10, if you think that they do because of the Maya and the glamour, is why a motherfucker would just fuck your whole shit up and you'd be like, what's happening? Because you thought that somebody was going to actually believe in your vision or some shit like that. And it's like, if you got a consciousness and you got a connection to spirit, you better just run with that shit. Because if you try to bring people along and involve motherfuckers, they gonna fuck up your flow.
100.
It's weird, but it might sound like I'm a hater, but it
It
just work out.
don't.
It just be like that though, you know?
That go with the confidence, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
That comes with spiritual growth and going through shit and reevaluating your what's important to you, what matters, what you have, where you want to be, and how that all corresponds in the present moment.
Yeah.
It sounds simple, but that shit complicated.
It's complicated because everybody got a different illusion for you.
Mhm.
And
And the
everybody
root of ill illusion is ill. Shit, motherfuckers sick. Sick in the
it,
head.
it's crazy. Like people want to be rich more than like be present. Like think about that. Like there's people who say, "Well, since I'm not rich, I'm not going to be present," meaning that I'm gonna be sad or I'm gonna feel a certain type of way. It's just like shit. That's a fucked up reason to be that way, you know. But that's how it is now, you know. And it's crazy. Like when somebody die, that's famous, people be real interested in that shit. But like somebody normal could die, nobody care. And it's like what is really happening out here? It's all like the point of somebody being famous is glamour and illusion because he a special person because he rap. And it's like, damn, we really fucked up. We
Yeah.
really value people based on what they do and what they wear, and not about their soul and spirit nowadays. Like, and that shit is what it is. Like, that's the law.
Not for real, man. And it's like what you said earlier. With the you singing and speaking deaf, you thinking it's not gonna happen to you. Like I seen so many posts, people saying, black men should be able to grow old, and all the black men is all the men that's dying, and it's like you got to think about the things they doing, the actions that they showing. How can you say you want to see them grow old when all they talk about is being street lords, gang profits? You know what I'm saying? That's
And
an
then they
illusion right
try to blame it like on other races, but like it's like me. If you say, "Well, here go $1 million, but speak death on your community," I wouldn't do it because I understand like it's people who like speak positivity and do positive work and have 501c3s and try to help the black community. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a lot of people who choose to do good in a world where there's white people giving money for you to rap negativity. You know what I'm saying? So you got to come with a better excuse of it's the white people's fault. No, it's our fault for verbalizing such self hate and being paid for it and then not being able to face the consequences or being able to like die by the sword that we live by and make money by. When it reflips, it's like, oh my God, that's so unfortunate. It's unfortunate when he was saying it.
Yeah, it's
That was
like
unfortunate. When you was shaking your ass in the club, that was unfortunate. Like the
Okay,
conjuring
can
was
we not talk about the shaking the ass in the club, guys? I don't shake the ass in the club, but there's nothing wrong with exercising your sacral chakra to work those things through sometimes,
over
okay?
death,
Sometimes you have to shake a cheek or two just to work it through for the ancestors.
over death. You can
yeah.
do that over life music. You could do
No,
that
no, no,
over
no, no,
gospel.
no.
I'm
Over
talking
live music, not over death.
Yeah, I'm talking about the conjuring, the specific music that's specific to kill you, fuck your bitch, and shaking your ass over that and ritualistic formation. Like this is how ancestors conjured up all types of zombies and servitors and egregores through music, dance, drums, and ritual repetition. And millions of children listen to this music and manifest it in weird ways. And I don't think we even can connect them two dots. Because I was listening to goddamn the New Birth earlier, Wildflower, and just thinking how like on a Friday evening, it's just normal to hear all of these strings and orchestras and arrangements, and that's just normal black music back then. Now it's just goddamn Chief Keef, and it's like that's where we at right now. And no disrespect to Chief Keef, but it's just like
The
drill.
niggas, yeah, and I mean to that point, it's like you mentioned that, but like literally, women are doing that over like even if it doesn't like it's even if it's just a nigga talking about fucking another nigga's bitch, it's like what like girls dance to that,
Mhm.
or and it's like without like the thought of like all right a nigga's gonna die because he's talking about like fucking up a whole nigga's family and like what I'm saying like the
Can
shit
I
that
tell
is
y'all like
done is just for niggas to want to participate in that. Like that shit is evil. Like how
I
it's
think
supposed.
that it exists, you can always do something to it and with it. And th- I believe in reharnessing energy and using my intent and using what I can use to, because if it's there, you got to use the energy. You can use the magic. I use this for an example. I had a shirt that said "Brush your teeth and do what I say do," and I wore that when I went to Denver, Colorado, and I was harnessing. I was doing work at the time, working with the universe, just personal spiritual journey work for the United States of America as an entity, like for reparations, for those types of things. Like I know that has nothing to do with Chief Keef's song "Love No Thotties," but in my mind, I call the United States of America a thought. And brush your teeth and do what I say do. So that's what I mean when I say reharness energy. Like
I
they
understand.
can't make you see what I'm saying.
I I I hear you, but like I don't know.
That's
That's
just the way I
that's
think
strange
about it. If
because
it's
like
there, you got to do it. You can't do nothing about people putting those energies and those things out there. But I can use my energy counterintuitively and see whose magic is stronger. Like over time. Like right now, no, but over time, I just don't know. You just never know.
yeah, nah, I don't know about that one. Like I feel as though just in a sense, like I feel as though like there are things that in a sense I understand what you're saying about alchemy and being able to take certain things and and switch and change like change the energy, but
And most
also
of the time when I'm listening to it, I'm in trance.
yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah, but like I mean, at the same time, like when niggas is niggas is always in a trance listening to that music. Like niggas is in a trance and being on bullshit. So
All niggas ain't me.
yeah, no, but I true.
I'm
Um,
just we speaking on it. I'm just saying, like the way I view everything is I can control what I can control, which is me. And Chief Keef is a product of my environment. We're a product of the same environment. So if I want to change my environment and
yeah,
I'm changing myself, I'm not going. It's
taking
certain
ownership.
struggles that, yeah.
I don't know. I'm careful of trying to take ownership of things. Like, yeah, because we came from like the same city, things, but like,
It ain't even just the same city. I'm talking about the struggles, baby. Like when I forgot who I was, I had to get back to the bottom to come back to reascend. Like at the bottom, it's completely dark. You don't know who you partying with. It's dark. You don't know who you with. It's dark. You feel the energies, but it's
but
dark. But as
so
I navigated using music, it's dark there. It ain't pretty in Chicago. It's not pretty. It's
I
not pretty at
so
all.
like, and that so that's my thing. And I think that that has to do with this topic, right? Because like my thing is like what truly is like the bottom, like what truly is like considered ugly. Because all right, like you mentioning those things, right? You being from Chicago,
The
me being
bottom is poverty, and the bottom is traumas. The bottom is assaults. The bottom is police brutality. The bottom is
okay. So you're saying a number of different things, right? But like I am somebody like I've been like poverty. I've slept outside in DC, and I'll say like those moments were like some of the clearest for me. Like when I had nothing, like but I wasn't giving into I wasn't giving into like I'm down bad because I didn't have anything. You can have nothing, but like that's looked at as being fucked up, this, that, and the third. But like those are also points where you can find out so much about yourself, truly, without having to give into what is so called being messed up. Like
I hear you.
sincerely,
I completely feel you, but I think that that also comes from a black man and black women having the same melanin but different experiences. Because if we can go back, um, the reason I can say that I use drill music because I was the person that did not speak up for myself. I was a person that did. I'm not to say that I would go out and I don't own any type of weapons at all. I'm just saying sometimes when you're from a certain when you're from and you can relate to certain things and call on that inner G, not energy, but that INNERG. When I couldn't, when I lost my voice, when I gave away all of my power, when my power was taken from me, those musics, those sounds helped me find my inner drill because the world took my protection. The world took my, it felt like it took my power. So calling on those same demons, because I feel like if I felt that, if I was able to connect with the energy that he's connecting to, or whatever these people made when they made those songs, and I'm specifically using that because I had a specific thing in mind when I was manifesting with that song. We're spirits having a human experience. My demons know better than to. I don't self harm like in cutting. You see what I'm saying? Like I feel like people indulge in self harm or
all
behaviors
right.
that harm other people.
So yeah,
That's something different.
this is my concern with that. It's like it is like I've been there. Like I've like and that's like certain things just don't scare me. Like people like and all that scary shit doesn't really scare me
Hmm.
because I really do have those demons. But there are people out here, the youngest out here, like that's music comes on and that puts them into into that spell that puts them in that demon time, and I see that on a consistent basis. So it I can't say that like people should just be using that for spiritual means because Like that shit really is evil.
I don't believe in telling people what they can and can't practice. I just believe in
Yeah, me neither.
controlling what I can, me, and letting other people
Me
be
neither.
and do what they do.
I know I see what I see, and it's like these spells are real. So like for me to be like, these youngins can be out here listening to that and be able to be their who they supposed to be. I can't say that like that's a thing because these niggas really are under spell from that stuff. That shit's real.
Yeah, because the music gonna really send your ass to jail. It's gonna really get your ass popped. Like if you like women and men have a different experience, because we really gonna get shot out here. You know what I'm saying? We really, and whoever gonna feel for
Hmm.
it, gonna feel for it. But we are going to really go to prison. Really have that metal go clank, 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 clank. Really box your ass in for listening to this shit mentally. It's many alternatives that you can input into your cranium. Like I got a whole jazz playlist that I put on shuffle and I listen to the point that I don't memorize jazz songs and it's like real complicated jazz songs. Like I know them now. And it's like shit, fuck that hip hop shit. But if people want to listen to it, they're gonna listen to it. But I know like frequency wise, it's unnecessary in a world where
Young
nothing
men don't need that. Young men don't need
young
that.
men don't need it because we very impressionable and we're down for the hypnosis. Like we're down to listen to it, get into trance, and then try to mimic and emulate that for which we're hearing. Even worse is when we cannot match because they're doing the minstrel zip coon shit, right? Where they're getting money from massa to be this person that a nigga could never be in real life, right? So that gives a woman an expectation of a man that don't exist, and a man trying to be a man that don't exist, and then this is the society that just so easy to crash out because the music that niggas is listening to. Nothing else though. Nothing else in your world would paint you and steer you in the wrong direction more than the movies. I mean, well, the movies, but we don't even get black movies. The only thing that the movies teach us to be is Medea now, right? Some motherfucking bullshit. Like, other than that, you know what I'm saying? The only thing that we got is to be is a nigga that's a rapper. And it's not every black man, but it's a percentage of black men who are going to crash the fuck out because all they do is listen to hip hop.
No, it's 100, man. Because like I can personally speak from that because I still do every now and then, but like it fucks with your vibration because you'll have intentions like like for the like they push a lot of like the hookup culture, fucking each other. When you like fucking each other bitch and sharing these hoes and shit, like that's where everybody get this stuff from, man. When you really think about it, like he said, like every black movie, you got a nigga dying, you got a nigga leaving the hood, you got everybody staying the same, you got all the death we put in our bodies. Like we are being taught a lot of shit that we never seem to ever second guess or be like, why is Tyler Perry dressing up as a woman?
Why
Why is
why
it?
ain't nobody, why ain't nobody talking about starting families in the music and like why-
Why didn't they do a vegan soul food or like something for which that your mama didn't get her leg amputated? Like they didn't have to put that in the
Hmm.
movie. We are being socially engineered to be this way. And the reality of us, what if everybody that went to grade school had to learn every John Coltrane song, or else you wouldn't graduate? And that was the standard for black people. Because John Coltrane is a black man, just like me, just like Jeff, just like AD. But that nigga did not listen to hip hop every day. Let's be clear.
he
That
loved
nigga
the
was
music.
listening to jazz and understanding the different melodies and the different notes and the different harmonies and the different sounds and then stretching those limits. I feel like every black boy have the potential to be a John Coltrane, but he never get the opportunity because their parents don't put them on to these things and make it to be like, you got to listen to this, learn this, and like this. And if you don't never get that appreciation, and then like it's all different types of shit out there, heart music, fucking tap dancing, ballet. Black people are the masters at anything you can name, and it's just like shit.
and
We'll
and,
never
and
probably get there because we too busy listening to Cardi B.
Yeah, and I know like a lot of literally like 13 to 17 year olds. Like that's like they create what they listen to. So all like they're making music, and that music is we just slid on some niggas. We just gotta hop in the car, and not the cars like they just stole the whip. Like niggas is like I say, like, all right, so maybe that's the difference between, the feminine and masculine world, but like the men are looking to do what is being said in those songs, and all of that shit is to their destruction.
And the only
So,
time, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
And I would
yeah,
say the only time that shit come alive is in the music videos. Do you ever see a nigga in the hood really doing that shit?
No, I mean, you
I
will
do
see.
now, like I'm like dead ass, like I literally know niggas who like they're teenagers rapping this shit, and it's becoming their lives. Like
Yeah,
shit
you
is
will
real.
see it, but it's like on the edge of like you're going to get shot soon type shit. Like you're a target type shit. Like you do see it like in Detroit, like you do see people flossing, but to your point, AD, no, you don't see the average motherfuckers just living on some regular average shit, trying to be low key, not trying to be too hot, not trying to, you know what I'm saying, not be the most flashiest nigga in the world because that brings too much attention. So unless you're in a music video
That's what I
or
want to. I'm happy being that motherfucker for real.
it's like
Well,
it's just all fucked up, man. Our minds is really fucked up on what we deem as good and what we deem as like normal. And maybe not for all of us, but I know these young kids feel a certain type of way because they not millionaires or some shit. Like don't want to work, don't want to do shit, just want to be lit. And so they'll go from sitting at the crib to pulling an AK-30. They'll sit, play Call of Duty all day, listening to fucking trap music. Eventually they get tired of that shit and bring it into real life, and they bring the same energy that they had in Call of Duty into the fucking real world, bro.
I feel it. I can't take none of that away. Like I wholeheartedly agree with y'all on that. But I know that in alignment with my specific assignment, like spiritual activism, like when I say that, I mean like I'm recreating my reality. Like I'm starting my Pluto. I'm the Pluto and Scorpio generation. I feel like if we go back to the first topic, how do we use astrology? Like that's how I feel like I'm changing my reality. Like however I'm warping this energy and I'm manifesting, I'm visualizing, and I'm changing it. However I'm changing it when I'm in that lucid state, I feel like it's necessary work for me. I truly do believe that because I feel that I'm using my aligned inner being and my ability to control and change myself and my connection to that trauma bond that connects me to that music. I don't know. I have to re-warp that energy. I am. That's what I'm actually.
And I feel you on that because like, I do a lot of martial arts, and sometimes like I try to channel that aggressiveness, and I use that music for that. But at the same time, I always thought like when I turn that music on and I'm using it for, I still get that after effect of what the music's saying. Because at the same time, sometimes our subconscious don't know no different. So when we hear that shit, we really taking that shit in, and we like, okay, little nigga want to push O's. We gonna program excuse me, I'm sorry, program that into him soon or later. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like using a dark weapon and not expecting those effects gonna come back on you. That's how I see
And
it.
that's part of the spell that's on black men too, though. It's specifically for black men. You see what I'm saying? I feel like it's specifically targeting black men, and black women are affected by it, but it's specifically targeting black men.
Yeah, spooky shit, right?
And I feel like the music being controlled messes with a lot of people downloads. Because this one book I feel like a lot of people should read is called The Hip Hop Matrix. And that explains how like this music is used to siphon your energy and just warp a lot of people's um, consciousness to this shit. For real.
No. All real talk, all the conversation. Ah, yeah. But yeah, let's get into the last topic. And I mean, I think that like kind of what we're mentioning here, it's relates to it for sure. But this spooky season, with everything going on, in the real world of illusion, all that has to be like, um, I mentioned to everybody like right before Halloween, like I saw a couple animals that I like never actually see in person. Like just the week before Halloween, I saw a bat in real life. At a park, I saw a fox and I saw a skunk. I feel like those like three animals that are like in normal like are kind of like if you look at that from at the face card, those like three animals that kind of tell you to stay away in a sense. But for some reason, they were attracting me for sure, and this time definitely interesting time for sure. Um, to the first and the second of November being Day of the Dead, October 31st being Halloween. There are, and I don't know if anybody is I utilize like I mentioned earlier, I utilize astrology, and uh, if you look at the sun and look at kind of the tarot card that goes with it, where it's at, the third deacon, the Lord of Wealth, the Ten of Pentacles, like, and within that card, it mentions like this was a period of time where you have kind of close access to other dimensions and things like that. I think kind of like that's all something like we have an understanding of subconsciously during this time, but like man, like what has like the last kind of week been like, to you all? Like, have you been kind of noticing just interesting and kind of weird trends in your day to day life? Like just in a pre-show, we mentioned kind of everything going on, all the craziness going on, like in the world and stuff like that, all the spooky stuff going on. But I'm just curious to understand like how that relates to you all, how you all have been seeing that in your day to days.
It's been wild, man. Just like everything's been real like spooky. Business has been spooky where like if shit be like nothing, then shit's like everything or nothing. Then it's like, oh wow. Like everything is like where I just real humble because everything just feel real fragile. Like fine china. And so I just been taking it more seriously. But I just been real clear too. And then following my clarity. I feel like if I don't follow my clarity, something real weird is going to happen. Because the times where I didn't follow my clarity, I'm like, damn, I knew I shouldn't have done that type shit. So it's just been like very ground zero, starting from scratch, having that hunger. And on top of that, it's like shit is real weird. The dream world is real weird. I'm real clear on like the spiritual world, what it is, the value of it, what I want to say. I got a lot of ideas. Like shit just been coming to me. Like like we put together like a little article slash Instagram little run on the herbs that you don't even need to get an abortion. You could just be drinking teas to like I mean I heard it before, but like earlier this week something was like, look into this. And I'm like, damn. It had me thinking about like all that shit that niggas was crying about that Roe versus Wade. And they doing this and they doing that. I'm like, what was that about? Like I know you could just take teas and you won't never get pregnant if you don't want to get pregnant. Why don't everyone
And you can keep
know
them
that?
at your business.
Yeah, like they don't even know nothing about. They don't care what you do or what you don't do. It's billions of people in the world. Whether you having a baby or not, ain't they concerned? But your health and how you can manipulate this through herbs, because then they'll be like, this nigga ain't shit. But it's like shit. Well, it ain't even really have to go down like that. Like from the jump, like from a long time ago. Like it's a protocol you can put yourself on just to make sure you don't get pregnant. This is why the herbs make women turn out to be like people view them as powerful fertility goddesses because they can just fuck anybody, never get diseases, never nothing. Like the herbs cure you with all of that. And it's like they take that away, and now y'all kind of defenseless against Earth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of shit. This week been illuminating as fuck. But I don't give a fuck what's happening in the 3D. I'm only trying to get clarity and understanding that my mind, your mind, everybody's mind is connected to God. The only thing is when you put your ego into your mind and you have all of your psychoses, all of your neuroses, all of your fears, all of your phobias in reference to how your mind works, and you just basically blocking your intuition. And it's like I can say that every single day for the rest of my life. And some niggas might hear me, some niggas might not hear me, but it's like it's just so it's just so profound, especially this week, man. When they say the veil is thin, I feel like you can utilize it for business success. But get them real dope ass ideas that we carry you through the like winter months. So yeah, I'm just excited. This week been real dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can honestly relate to that too. But like, I've been feeling like this week there's been a lot of like energy of just somebody reaching out to me, like my animal totem just connected with me and giving me those hints, and me trying to understand my animal. Its significance is what it does in the day and night. So Jeff had no spottings. It's pretty dope because it's like me sitting at the time at the lake. I've just been having a lot of like underwater spirits just jumping out, talking to me. You know what I'm saying? And like it's up to us to really see that and connect with it. Because a lot of people they'll just be at the lake and just like, bro, that's a fish, dog. Don't worry about that shit. Whereas in somebody who has that try to look at things deeper, it's like, nah, I feel like somebody on the other side trying to let me know something. And I need to go tap in and hear my ancestors talking to me. So I just been feeling a lot of that energy. I just been wanting to respect it on the deepest level. Who don't love Halloween to dress up and make a ritual out of it? You can invoke, a powerful entity or just use this energy to heal yourself.
Yeah. For me, it's
Last week was I'm sorry.
no. Go ahead, Denise.
You go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, so like for me, it's been an interesting week for sure. As far as like business goes, like it's been good. I've been having like a lot of money coming in, which definitely been a blessing. Um, at the same time, it's like that isn't like the I guess like in the past, like that would have been like, oh man, that means everything is going great. But like I'm at a different point, just like in just how I'm looking at things. Like I'm like working on different things. I'm building my credit for different reasons. Just like just having having different things move, but all for the same purpose. At the same time, I've been seeing a lot of kind of crazy stuff. Just like just being outside, it has been like spook. It's just been spooky for real. And not for me, should I say? Like I've been in a good place. I've been, you know, keeping track of my 3D world. Been able to handle that stuff, but like really been focused on my inner self and been taking care of me. Been learning, doing my due diligence and learning more about myself. Um, and just just keeping full balance, but at the same time, I don't know if it's like if it's because of that, because I've been feeling balanced, like within self. Like I've been seeing so much craziness outside of self, or what. But yeah, people who have been kind of in my within my sphere, or having within people who have been somewhat attached to me in different ways. Like I've just been seeing kind of crazy stuff happen. Two people, I've been seeing people doing wild things, for the sake of just not having a sense of self. So people looking to kind of gain, like some sort of reputation from people, like looking to gain kind of respect, acting out and doing kind of wild stuff. I, I I saw the FBI looking for minors this week. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen like
Damn.
I seen some crazy shit. Like um, just because like people don't have it, they're just out here, and like they're just trying to, they're going with the wave, and not really truly understanding who they are and the power that they have, and if they really just tapped into who they were, how they could really um, bypass all this BS, and really look to self actualize. But yeah, man, like that's key. Is like you want to be out here, you're gonna get taught some. The universe gonna teach you some lessons if you want to get taught some lessons. And I'm somebody who has wanted to be taught lessons, but not to certain extremes. Thank God to my ancestors for sure. Um, but yeah, man, it's been a wild time. Um, people aren't looking after theirs, and if people aren't looking after theirs, and theirs aren't looking after people. Like it being Day of the Dead, it being and if you just do your research and understanding on what that means, like it's a time of celebration, a time, a holiday in which people look to honor those, honor who they came from, honor those people who have passed on, in a sense, and give offering and things like that. That's something that I look to do, you know, every day. Like I've been doing that for a while, so looking to provide offerings to my ancestors. Just saying their names, throughout the days, and being in the space of understanding like I'm here because of them, and being grateful for the love that they have for themselves while they were here, and understanding like that they're leaving love for me, like they're not here anymore, but the love that they have for themselves like is the reason why I'm here, and just being grateful for that. So understanding like if I am, if I'm able to do that, not just because it's a holiday, but do that consistently, you know all everything else is gonna work itself out. Everything else is gonna fall in alignment if I'm focused on the spiritual aspect of things. Not worried about how much money I have in the bank, or like just all the BS, like what I'm wearing. It's like everything's gonna be all right, and I'm in alignment. I'm in the place I need to be. So yeah, man, just trying to stay in alignment with that, with all the craziness that's going on. Just letting that letting that slide and knowing that it is just that, it is just illusion. It ain't what really matters. It's not real. Um, just stay focused and grounded. Um, yeah, all that has been kind of what I've been on and what's been on my mind as of late for sure.
What's been on my mind this last week or so has been recognizing that I have been connecting with my ancestors and realizing that this entire year has been able to be because of them. Like you mentioned Roe v. Wade, and the day that it got overturned was the day that I made my first trip to my grandmother's land, which was in New Orleans. And my mother has never been to New Orleans, and my grandmother hadn't been to New Orleans since she was a child. So just activating that part of my DNA, the part of her that resides in me. And with yesterday being her 100th birthday and she's not with us, and I honored her. And it's so, I love your hat, Elisha, because I lit an orange candle and I lit a red candle because those are the chakras that I've been working on. So appreciate you. Much love to you for the confirmation. And I just really, really want to express the gratitude to them. Like I mentioned to y'all, I don't, my disconnect with money hasn't been because I dislike money. It's been the energy of the people, the slave owners behind the money. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I've been working on this whole year, has been aligning myself with the reality that honors my ancestors and honors the current melanated beings, and finding out my part in that greater that greater macrocosm. Just figuring out my part and my purpose in that, and waiting for more instruction, getting the downloads as I sleep, connecting with colloidal gold and platinum and silvers, and connecting with those things internally to decalcify my pineal gland, just making sure I'm able to receive all that they have for me is where I've been at with it. And educating my family and realizing that I have been that resource, and not I didn't know that I was that resource to them, and feeling proud that I have come a long way because I was the RN. I was the one that pushed everybody, make sure you're going to the doctor, make sure you're doing this, but I was under the spell. So just realizing that I deprogrammed myself and I'm listening to my ancestors, and I feel them ever present with me. I feel their omnipresence on this day of the dead. Like it's just amazing. And with last week with being aligned with the moon, and then we have another eclipse coming up, I'm ready to see what's about to pop next. Can't hear you.
And my fault, was on mute. But yeah, I was just saying that's dope, man. Dope to hear. Appreciate you sharing. Yeah, man. I think we've been on for an hour and a half. Thing. Yeah, we shared a lot. Let's go ahead and roll this up. But yeah, man, that's been another episode of the Collective Podcast. G Elijah, as again, you know, here for Elijah Green. That's what I push. That's what I represent. Just just happy to be here. And looking to fulfill my just keep pushing my ancestors. That's all I'm here for. So, hey man, what's up with y'all? Go and let y'all say y'all peace.
It's your boy AD, man. I appreciate y'all joining tonight with us, the collective. I appreciate the whole team popping out and just spitting y'all knowledge and just rapping about today, man. But go ahead and check out the Harrison Book Club, man. If you want to dive into some beautiful books and just learn more, go check us out on the Substack and follow us on Instagram at Harrison Book Club. You know what I'm saying? We got some powerful things coming, and we're gonna discuss a lot of things, especially the inner you. Um, so yeah, and then go get at me on Instagram at AD underscore Senpai 33, where I go live, man. I talk about a lot of things, man. So Much love to y'all. Peace.
My name is Denise, the beautifully ascended beast. I appreciate y'all. I really enjoyed the conversation, the energy exchange. Um, I value everybody's perspective. Like, this has been amazing. And you can catch me on uh, Hoods. That's the only platform I'm on right now, is the Mystery School. You can catch me there. I like to share my energy with my soul tribe. I'm keeping my circle and my family small right now. You can book me online there for a reading. And yeah, peace to the family, peace to the tribe.
Yeah, man. Just I'm around doing what I do at the Hood Mistake on Instagram, Hood Mistake at Gmail. If you want a message, yeah, man. Just keep it light, keep it moving, stay in the moment, stay present, and know that everything happens in incremental changes. If you really want it to happen, you're going to take the small steps to get there, or else you're not going to ever get there. One day, a piano might fall on top of your head, but don't wait on it. Like, build up the crescendo. You know what I'm saying? So, today is a step, tomorrow's another step. Keep stepping.
Love yourself through that whole process, man. Appreciate y'all. See y'all next week. Peace.